Imagine you work at a coffee shop and you are paid $12 per hour. Model the situation using an algebraic expression. Then evaluate the expression for h equals 4, 8, and 10 hours. First, we'll write the expression using 12 times h, which stands for hours. Next, we evaluate for 4 hours. First, write the number, then write parentheses to represent the h. Now we substitute 4 into the formula. 12 times 4 equals 48. Now let's do it for 8 hours. We use the same formula. We write 12 times, write the parentheses, and substitute 8, and this equals $96. Next, we're going to do 10 hours. So again, we use the same formula. Write 12, parentheses represents the hours. We substitute 10 hours, and it's $120. Now let's do another problem with only math. Evaluate negative 18 plus m when m equals 23. So we write negative 18 plus, and instead of m, I'll write the parentheses. Now m equals 23, so I'll substitute 23 for the parentheses. Negative 18 plus 23, that equals positive 5. Let's look at this problem. Evaluate 1/2 times y when y equals 48. Before we begin, I just want to talk about multiplying in algebra. You can write the product of 1/2 and y in several ways. We can write it like this: 1/2 times y. We can also write it like this: 1/2 y. And we can write it like this: y over 2. And I can do this because I multiply y times 1. Okay, let's go ahead and try this problem. I'll write 1/2 times y and use parentheses for the y. And how much is y? It's 48. So I substitute 48 for the y, and 1/2 of y is 24. Okay, now try these problems on your own and we'll do them together. I'll pause the video. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so g plus 6, and the value for g is negative 20. So substitute negative 20. Negative 20 plus 6, there are more negatives, so it's negative, so it's negative 14. 15 minus g. I substitute the negative 20. And I write 15. And there's a minus, a negative is positive, so it will be 15 plus 20. That equals 35. Here, this means negative 2 times g. When a coefficient is next to the variable, it's multiplication. So negative 2 times g, I can write the number right next to the parentheses, and that means multiplication. I substitute negative 20. Negative times a negative is positive, so 2 times 20 is 40. Here we have g divided by 10. I substitute negative 20. Signs are different, it's division, so it's negative. 20 divided by 10 is 2. Now we're going to evaluate for two variables. So it says evaluate a divided by b when a equals 51 and b equals negative 17. Alright, so first we'll write parentheses representing a and parentheses for b. So that's a and this is b. The value for a is 51. We'll substitute it into the first parentheses. The value for b is negative 17. Substitute it into the second parentheses. Positive divided by negative is negative. 51 divided by 17 is 3. So try these on your own. Evaluate the expression when x equals negative 24 and y equals negative 8. I'll pause the video and then we'll work them out together. Okay, let's begin. X divided by y. The value for x is negative 24, so I'll put it in the first parentheses. The value for y is negative 8. Put it in the second parentheses. Negative divided by a negative is positive. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Here we have y plus x. Y is the first parentheses, so I substitute negative 8. X is the second parentheses, so I substitute negative 24. Negative 8 plus negative 24, so in addition, if the signs are the same, we sum 8, so it's negative because it becomes more negative. 8 plus 24 is 32. The next one, we have x minus y. I substitute the value for x is negative 24. The value for y is negative 8. Now we have negative 24 minus a negative 8, so that's positive. Negative 24 plus 8. We find the difference. In addition, the difference between 24 and 8, and there's more negatives, so we'll make it a negative, is 16. Okay, when two variables are together, it means multiplication. So the meaning of this is x times y. Okay, so for x, I can write parentheses. For y, the parentheses. Now in algebra, when two parentheses are together with nothing in between, it means multiplication. So I'll substitute negative 24 for x, negative 8 for y. Negative times a negative is positive, and 24 times 8, let's see, how much is that? 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 18, 19. So it's positive 192. Okay, that's our lesson for today. Thank you.